Okay, Mom. Happy Wednesday.
Happy Wednesday, everybody.
Please subscribe to our YouTube channel. We are slowly making our way to 25K. Y'all already know we have Patreon lined up for you. It's coming through in a few weeks. Help us get those YouTube numbers so that our Patreon looks good too. All right. Please follow us on Spotify and Apple Podcast. Please give us those 5-star ratings. It means the world. Follow us on socials where y'all vent away to our question of the week.
Yes. And our question of the week today, another question that got a lot of responses.
Fox.
It was spicy. The question of the week was, what's the worst thing your in-laws have ever said to you? This is something that a lot of people said too, where they would say how their in-laws would always say, oh, on the wedding, like, we paid for so much more. We gave this much in gifts. We bought her like this many gold sets. And like the other family, like, oh, the girl's family didn't buy that many and stuff like that. I was just like, y'all are so, stop this. Like, oh my goodness.
And like, people who keep tabs of things like that
like you write it down in a diary like a cheapskate.
That's what they're doing.
It's just gross.
On an envelope of a letter.
Yeah. Like for me, I'm like, why are you being that way? Like immediately your status drops. Sorry, am I?
Okay, you just give birth to kids and be like, I gave this to you.
Yeah.
It's priceless.
Yeah. But they wouldn't give you credit. They'd look at the child and be like, this looks exactly like my son.
Like, mere bete ka kaam hai.
I swear to God, they would. They would. 0 credit is given. 0.
Ugh. You know what? I feel like when you're in a cycle of a relationship like that and you know that you can never please them, then just do what's going to make you happy.
Yeah. I think ultimately you should do what makes you happy. But if you're in a healthy relationship, I feel bad for the sons because I think that they are really in between a rock and a hard place where they have their mom on one side and their wife on one side. But I always say, first of all, as a son, you have to be fair. Okay. Like really be fair. Right. But I don't think you should ever call your wife out in front of your mom because immediately your mom is going to think, oh yeah, like, look, my son, he's going to side with me no matter what. I think you can talk to her alone. But I also think that if your mom is wrong, have the courage to talk to her and tell her alone as well. You don't have to like create drama, but alone as well. And I also think that your wife is your responsibility. Your mom has your dad. Your wife does not have anyone but you in that family. So like, do not leave her out to dry. Because I think if you do that to her one too many times, even once, she's going to lose so much respect for you. And I just think that is like, if your base is cracked, your relationship is cracked forever. I honestly think that. So don't do that.
She doesn't feel safe around you and protected, and she feels like she can't trust that you're going to have her back in certain situations.
Yeah.
It's a sticky
I think
situation.
that's a big thing for me.
Me too.
Someone being like, having my back.
100%
That would make me so mad. So one person said that her mother-in-law said, "Apni ghar ki book band karo aur yahan ki kholo." Maine unki book hi band kar di thi. It's a great analogy. It's a book. But she was again,
बंद करके रखो किताब, खोलने की जरूरत नहीं है उनकी. You open your own book.
you know, a lot of people said the same thing.
Yeah.
That my mother-in-law and my father-in-law would get upset when I would go over to my mom's house, or if my mom gave me a gift, like an outfit, they would get upset that I would wear her outfit.
I can see that.
I'm
it's
shocked.
always an in-law versus like
Real parents.
real parent drama. Like if I was gifted let's say you're gifted a suit for Eid from both your mother-in-law and your mom. Now, what are you going to do? And which one are you going to wear?
I would wear the one that I like the most, and I would not care. I'm not going to.
Let's say it's your mom's. And now
I like my mom's. If my mother-in-law's like, "Oh, तुमने मेरा सूट क्यों नहीं पहना?" I'd be like, "नहीं, मुझे आपका सूट बहुत पसंद था. मैं next time पहन के आऊंगी." And I would make sure that I wear it to her house.
Yeah, but then what if
in a place where she doesn't?
Yeah, but then like, what if you have to hear it all the time?
That would suck. But I would not.
sucks.
What if? Okay. Same scenario. What if you get 2 suits, one from your mother, one from your mother-in-law?
Okay.
Similar to the Valima experience. The mother-in-law suit, let's say, is flipping hideous. Okay. To the point where you're like, oh my God, thank you so much for the gift because we got to be grateful here. But real talk, everyone has their own style. You're like, I cannot wear this. This is 12 sizes too big for me. There ain't no tailor that's going to get, it's not even tailorable. Okay. The color is off. The gum is not good. There's a few rips in there. It's not that you're, saying, I don't appreciate the thought. The thought counts. However, if my mom's suit is bomb banging and my mother-in-law's suit is just like, not really sure. Which one am I rocking to Eid in front of everybody? You tell me. Are you serious? You're going to tell me you're going to wear the mother-in-law suit?
No, you won't. You're going to wear the nice one and then you'll just hear it for the rest of your life.
Yeah, but you could also do the
But why are there rips in the suit?
I don't know. Accidentally, yaar, pata nahi kya hota hai. Parcel mein, you don't know what happened. Parcel from Pakistan
Parcel or mother-in-law's parcel?
She's like cutting through it. You know what another good thing you could do is? This is a great tactic. Let's say,
if there's rips in the suit, just say that.
There's rips in the suit.
और वो जो मेरी दर्जन थी वो कह रही थी कि अभी टाइम पे नहीं आएगा तो मैं नेक्स्ट ईद में पहन लूंगी.
Yeah, and if it's too big, you say वो बहुत बड़ा था. Next time आपको साइज दे दूंगी और मैं आपको जो मुझे पसंद है वो मैं आपको भेज दूंगी.
Yeah, but you know us bohus will be like, but why did she order such a big size for me? What is she trying to say? What is she trying to say?
What is she trying to say? And then I'd be like, why did your mom send me that suit? Like, I feel like she doesn't like me.
Is she saying that I didn't lose my baby weight?
Okay, but you know what you could also do?
It's the whispers.
It's the whispers. You could do the half day for an event. So maybe you wear that suit just to see her. That's all they want, man. They just want to see you in it.
Yeah. Or just like eat the moss.
No, man. Everyone's going to see you there. You can't wear the moss. You got to wear the good suit where lots of people are. You wear the whatever suit where you see your mother-in-law.
Yeah, wear it to her house.
I think you
have
give
nashta, halwa puri, whatever.
You have to wear it.
Spill some chane on it and be like, oh my god, I can't get the stain out.
You want me to you push her on purpose to make sure the chane fall off?
Oh, and I'm like, oh no, I was helping you in the kitchen and the chane fell on my suit.
She's gonna be like, beta, abhi utaro, main abhi tumhare liye saaf karke leke aati hu.
I'll be like, नहीं ये नहीं होगा. आप host करें. ये मेरा this is a me problem. मैं figure out कर लेती हूँ. Go upstairs, change and come back down looking swag. That's your plan.
No, I would 100% appreciate the effort. Effort is effort. And I would wear that outfit. I just don't think I'd be like, I have to wear it because you want me to wear it. I wouldn't do that. Because honestly, I wouldn't do that with my mom either.
Yeah. Just wear it and like really just take a few pictures in it.
Yeah. That's all they need.
Call it a day.
But the truth is, Aruj, honestly speaking, if my mom got me a dress and I didn't like it, 100% I'd be like, mujhe nahi pasand.
You guys, this is the thing.
So openly.
This is the thing, okay?
I would just say
this conversation right here. Because honestly, my mom's in Pakistan right now and she's gonna bring me back something that I don't like and I'm just gonna look at her and be like, you can just keep this in your house. And I can just say that, and guys, I can leave the suit guilt-free.
Yes.
And I'll never have to see it again. Do you know how many times? Okay, so my mom bought me so many suits when I was getting married, right? Yo, like 6 of them, I was like,
same girl.
Same. Right? And then a few of them I even wore in front of her and she's like, huh, वैसे stitching इसकी सही नहीं है. I was like, mom, it's making me look like a whale. Like, I don't like this Angra Ka style. It doesn't suit my body. I look big in it. I don't want to wear this. This color is so off. Ye dekhiye iski sari lace utar rahi hai. Like, I can just be so open with her. I hung it back in her closet. Yeah, 10 saal ho gaya. I haven't touched the suit.
Still sitting in her closet.
And then when my mom was packing, I was like, oh, why don't you just take that and donate it?
Smart.
And she took it.
Smart.
And she doesn't even she literally doesn't take offense to it. But like, why can't we have this approach?
That's the thing. Okay, but think about it like this, right? If the son said something to his mom, the mom would not take offense to it, right? But because it's a new relationship, the daughter-in-law takes offense with what the mother-in-law says, and the mother-in-law will also take offense with what the daughter-in-law says. And that's just because you're not used to each other.
Okay,
unless
but if
she's really unhinged.
Guys, if we reverse roll here right now, okay? Let's say you got your mother-in-law gift.
Facts.
Okay? You got her a gift and like you, in your eyes, you went and spent like good money on it and you're like, yo, it's a shawl. You got a nice pashmina shawl, okay? And you're like, you picked a nice color and you're like, oh my God, this is gonna look so nice with her. And like, she loves shawls, whatever. And you gift it to her. It would kind of suck if she didn't wear it. Or it kind of suck if she was like, why did you get this color?
It would. 100% it would. Let's be real. It's
not a good feeling if you feel like somebody, and I'm talking genuine here, okay? Yeah. Like everybody has different tastes. If your mother-in-law genuinely bought you a suit and you genuinely didn't like it, then like I think there's a way to salvage this situation.
Absolutely.
Okay?
I agree.
And if I know that somebody got me something and I just didn't really like it, but genuinely like they'll say they bought it for me, then I'll wear it, man.
See, I agree with you on that because I'm like, you have to put in a little bit of effort too.
But that's only if I know that the intention was right.
And how do you know if the intention was right? Because you get to know them.
Exactly. And you know that at the end of the day, like they just wanted to get you a nice suit.
Yeah.
That's not all the time. Because sometimes the intentions are not right. And sometimes intentionally they want you to look like ulti.
Those ones, beware. Beware.
I want you to walk around looking like.
Oh my God. Honestly, I just think some situations are like really hostile and you can't salvage those.
Seriously.
You can't. Worst thing my in-laws have said to me, to give my gold jewelry back that they gave in my wedding. Brother. If they said, okay, put yourself in the position.
Okay.
Put it in.
All right,
okay.
all right.
You get married.
Wait. Am I young Aruj or am I like now Aruj? Because you hold that.
Young Aruj.
No,
okay, young Aruj. Young one's more fun. Okay, young Aruj.
Okay.
You get this beautiful gold set. It's actually pretty.
Okay.
And it's like, I don't even know. You know how they say like, you have solid gold. And it's not yellow gold, it's antique. So it's like the really nice antique gold. Okay. It has all the nice jewels in it and everything. And then like a week after your wedding, your mother-in-law comes up to you and says, Aru, jo maine tumhe set diya tha na, mujhe zara वापस कर दो.
Well, I'd ask you.
And she just like, oh, मैंने बस ऐसे ही दिया था सिर्फ वलीमे के लिए. वो ना मैंने खुद रखना है. I'm having anxiety saying it.
Guys, I have no words.
What would you do?
I'd be like, okay, I'm going to talk to my husband and then we'll get it out of the locker.
Like, उससे क्यों बात करनी? मैं तुम्हें कह रही हूँ.
No, I'll be like, because it's in the locker. He has to get it. Then I would go back to my husband and ask him, like, what's going on? What is this? Like, why is she asking for it back?
And what if he's like, oh, yeah, I thought that was normal. Because, men don't know nothing about it.
God.
Kuch nahi pata.
Can you guys please?
They're just like, what's the big deal? What's the big deal?
Because
they don't understand, like, like the traditional things. They don't understand that.
Yeah, but I'll be like, no, but this is supposed to be gifted to me.
Like, yeah, but they don't even understand that, like, you're supposed to gift people.
No, but I'll tell him. Okay, fine. You didn't know. Benefit of the doubt. Okay, you didn't know. Then I'll be like, okay, but anything that is given that I wore on the walima, that's a gift to me. So why is she asking for it back? Now what?
And he's like, I don't know, man. Just like give it back to her. Why bother with the problems? Seriously. So he says, just give it back to her. Why bother? What do?
This is young Aruj?
Yeah, girl. Young Aruj.
I'm giving it back. I'm giving it back.
Young Hina, I'd give it back. But even, I'm not going to lie. You want to know something about me? Even this day, Hina, I would give it back.
Yeah.
I would give it back because, for me, it's like,
I wouldn't want to hold on to something like that.
I wouldn't want to hold on to something either. Because I'd be like, just because you're a cheapskate and you're like, I don't know, for me, that's like a very, very like giddy cheese to do.
Yeah.
To give someone a gift and then to ask for the gift back.
Yeah.
Like for me, it's like you have no like morals.
And my pride would kick in and be like, take it. I don't need it.
100%.
And you know what I would just go to the jeweler and buy something for myself. I would gift it to myself.
I would 100% give it back, and I would never ever accept a gift from her again because I would never want to take anything.
Because you don't know what kind of strings it comes with.
Yeah, and I would feel like, oh, don't do like ihsan on me now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, don't do ihsan on me when you're like giving me something and you're taking it back. And then I'd also think of it as like, so did you get me that to wear it because you want to show off in front of other people before the wedding? And then 100% I would call my mom and be like, Mom, like, what the hell? This just happened. And my mom, you know what my mom would say? She'd be like, koi baat nahi. Koi baat nahi. Bas unke liye dua kiya karo. That's what my mom would say. Yep. 100%. 100%. Yep. She would never be, how dare you.
I'm going to extend the scenario a little bit. Let's say you give the set back, okay?
Yeah.
And then she's like, हाँ नहीं ये actually मैंने ना अपनी बेटी के लिए रखा हुआ है.
The flip?
And it was just for show, literally. It was literally just for show. And that the set is actually not yours, it's for my daughter.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Then it's a real bahu kabhi beti nahi hoti. And then you'll be like, हाँ लेकिन सास कभी माँ नहीं होती.
I think I would try to explain it to my husband. And I'd be like, do you see how weird this is? Because I don't think men understand sometimes, right? And I'd be like, do you grasp? It's hard to grasp. It's freaking weird. Okay. And then I think it would be something that I would probably hold on to.
Yeah.
Like I would be like, that was a disgusting moment in my life.
Guys, I'm not going to lie. I'd probably joke around and be like, do you want the Valima suit back too? You want your daughter to wear that? De.
ये भी ले ले.
ये भी ले ले.
सब कुछ ले ले.
बेटा भी वापस ले ले. ले ले वापस.
She's like, दे दो वापस.
हाँ, ले लो. सब कुछ ले लो. What's the craziest thing that your in-laws have said to you? When my baby had colic, they literally told me this must be from your side of the family. Oh my God. Because colic only runs on one side of the family.
Right? The flip. My sister's mother-in-law said to her, तुमने मेरे बेटे की जिंदगी बर्बाद कर दी. It's not funny, but it's also kind of funny.
Yo, I would have looked over and been like, "Aapke bete ne meri zindagi barbaad kar diya hai. Do you even know what I have to live with?
I actually think if someone said that to me,
Usne
I would
aapka
start
ghar
laughing.
hotel ki tarah rakha hua tha. I have to live with him day in and day out. You don't know, woman."
My mom died, and I told my mother-in-law that she's my mom now, and she said, "No, I'm not." Yo, that's
The mother-in-law
mean.
just said, "No, I'm not."
It's like your mom's just passed away, and she's like, "Nah, I ain't your mama." Ooh.
Like, don't worry, I ain't ever gonna be your daughter.
Oh, but I would be so like, oh my God.
The audacity to just say stuff.
My ex-father-in-law came on stage at my engagement and whispered to me, "You need to start dieting." Obviously, I did not proceed with the engagement and called off the wedding. Girl,
It
you
was
dodged a
on the
bullet.
day of.
Who comes and whispers that in your ear? Who?
You know what? In that moment, you really, y'all, we gotta step up. If somebody says that to you on the day of your engagement, you look over and be like, "I'll do it when you do it.
Oh,
Let's join the gym together."
I mean, you broke it off
whispers.
anyway. That was the best opportunity.
Yeah, seriously. There's a lot of body shaming on here. You
lot.
gained
There's
so
a
much
lot.
weight. Don't you ever think about losing your weight for my beta?
The flip.
You want me to lose weight for your beta?
Let's see how he does 6 months after the marriage. Because you know all these guys be up in their calories after they get married because they're so hush. You know, like
Because they eat ossos all night.
You're not the first woman who got pregnant. Stop sleeping too much. I don't even know what to say.
Can you just, I'm sorry, we need to break this one down. Can you just say that again?
She said, "You're not the first woman who got pregnant. Stop sleeping too much." Girl.
Wow. Please tell me you responded to that.
Please tell me you slept in again the next day.
You know what? She should have said that, and then you'd be like, "Okay, here, take the baby. I'm going to go for a nap."
I swear. What in the world?
Wow.
Nah, man.
Also, like, you know why these kind of comments really trigger me? Because it's like, raat ko, nobody is staying up with me.
Yeah.
Who's doing the sleepless nights? Are you doing the sleepless nights? You're going to be out here.
Yep.
You're literally like asking me to clock in and out of my nap times.
Yeah.
Because I'm trying to survive here with my sleepless nights. And
Yep.
you're going to leave a comment like that?
Yep. And I feel like they do it on purpose.
Of course
That
they do
I
it on
think they do
purpose.
it on purpose. Told my husband to divorce me in front of me because he told them we were going to get our own place. See you later.
I hope you're so happy in your own place.
Yeah. You know, a lot of people said this too. Same thing. That when I said that I was going to leave, my mother-in-law and father-in-law said, "Oh my God, you're taking everything away from us. You're taking our happiness away from us." Lord have mercy. This is what happens when parents put everything into their kids and forget to find what actually makes them happy other than their kids. This is what happens.
And they just don't know what to do with themselves because you're going to be moving out.
Yeah. They just don't want you to be happy because they know when you're living alone, you're going to be hell happy.
You're going to be so happy.
You're going to be jumping for joy.
हमारे घर में तो इतना मुंह बना के फिरती थी, अब तो बड़ी खुश है. अब तो बड़ी खुश है.
Yo, when I say laddu banto, it's a laddu banto moment.
And you
It's a
have
laddu
you be
banto
extra
moment.
khush when you see them. You gotta have the Joker smile. You know that.
Yo, for real.
I would just
For
be
real.
so happy all the
distance
time.
makes the heart grow fonder.
Facts.
Maybe you could actually have a better relationship. Who knows?
My mother-in-law told me, "Baal lagwa lo."
Like, get a wig.
Yo, if your mother-in-law said that to you, imagine if she meets me.
You're like,
She's gonna be like, "Turkey चली जाओ, कुछ करवा लो बालों का अरूज, तुम्हारी क्या हालत हो रही है?"
and you're like, आप अपने सर से उतार क्यों? You're like, चले हम दोनों जाके.
You'll be like, "We're both gonna go to Turkey. Husband's gonna book that flight. Let's go."
मैंने आपका भी टिकट बुक करवा लिया.
आप भी मेरे साथ आए. Oh my
God.
goodness. My mother-in-law called me an elephant. Oh my gosh.
This is not funny. It's just after the first joke. So remnants of the first joke are falling into this one. But the body shaming thing was a very common thing that a lot of people said. A lot of people said that.
Also, like, did she say it in Urdu? Or did she say it in English?
तुम तो हाथी लग रही हो.
Also,
What the
like,
hell?
I need to know the halat of your mother-in-laws.
Yeah.
What do they look like?
There's
in
no
response to
way
what
that
they're saying to
like
you.
Skinny minis. Come on now.
He can marry 50 women, but he's only gonna ever have 2 parents.
Oh my God. That is like blatant disrespect. Like
I cannot believe that they said that to you.
I can't believe that they said that. I can't believe that they said that. Like, honestly, that's so
like
gross.
I have no response.
That's so gross. I have no response to that. Like, I don't even know how I would respond to that. I would probably also say something like, well, I mean, I could have married other guys too.
Fox.
I chose your rusty dusty son.
With this rusty dusty parents.
Or you're like,
or you know what I would say? I'd be like, I know you're saying that he's only gonna have two parents, but like I'm kind of his ma too, so I guess that makes 3 of us.
ooh, ooh.
Wow.
Oh
We're
my
so sorry
God.
that you guys have. Guys, we're not making this up. You send us these things. You know, so many people under our comments will be like, look at these guys making up stories.
I know. And
We're
I'm like,
not making these up.
are not made up stories. Like, they're legit.
Beta, you just had a baby, so no hanky panky for 6 weeks.
Oh,
I'm talking about sex. You understand me, right? Your mother-in-law said this to you?
Yo, I would get the biggest ick.
I'd be so grossed
The
out.
biggest ick. I'd be like, okay, thank you. I don't want to know that. I don't even know if I can have a conversation with you ever again after this. The hell?
She's like, you're like, okay, thank you.
Like, what do? Aruj, somebody brings something like that up to you. You're standing there with the most awkward face ever. Okay, and you're just like, are we hum itne free hain ki aap hamare mere sath is tarah ki baatein kar rahi hai? Like, are you serious?
Like, I'm just imagining somebody saying this to you, and you're like, okay, thank you.
Because it's scary. I would be like, all right, sis. Thank y'all.
I don't even know how to respond. Like, why are people saying this to you? And why is it okay for them to say this to you?
Yeah,
This
I
is
know,
not
man.
okay.
I'm so icked out.
Ooh. Their relatives said that my clothes measurements are too big when I sent it to Pakistan.
What the heck?
Kidding me right now?
What is up with relatives inserting their big ass noses? like
Also, my measurements are my measurements, fam.
yeah, just do what I tell you to do, okay? You don't even have to look. Just give it to the darzi.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, I was freshly postpartum with my first baby in the trenches of having a newborn. My mother-in-law told me she's going to raise my son because I don't know how to be a mom. We were living with my in-laws at the time because our home was under construction. Fast forward 8 months later, our house is done and we're moving out of my in-laws' house. And she told me I was taking away her life and will to get out of bed in the morning because I was taking her son and grandson away from her. I told her to find a new reason to get out of bed and my son wasn't responsible for her happiness. And that if she couldn't, then I could send her Uber Eats to her bed for food. The Uber Eats comment took me out.
And that's a spicy response.
And this
is... Congratulations.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Yes. I just feel like sometimes if they're going to throw a response at you that way, you got to have a spicy response.
Also, like, man, y'all were parents at one point. You don't need to be parents again at this old age.
Yeah.
You're retired. Enjoy your retirement.
Cut the cord a little bit. Cut the cord. You know, find something else that makes you
Don't
happy.
invest
Jeez.
in my 2-year-old.
Like, for me, it's like, that's your grandchild. You should be happy to see them. But to like emotionally guilt somebody like that and be like, you're taking away my happiness. Meanwhile, I bet money the son's like, I need to get the hell out of this house.
Facts.
Okay. You think the son is all like, oh, my wife runs me? No. The son is probably also like, I need my own damn place.
Yeah. Even the son's like, boss, main thak gaya hoon yaar.
Yeah.
35 years of this. I need to get out.
Okay, so this is a really big one that people also talked about. My ex-mother-in-law said I was dark and I should be grateful her son married me.
Wow.
The colorism.
You're looking a bit dark today, considering I'm really fair, but that's besides the point.
There's a lot of people that said that. The looking dark.
She dictated the foundation color that I wore on the day of my walima.
Okay, can I tell you a story?
Tell us a
I
story,
went
yo.
to a client's house. Okay. And I was getting the daughter-in-law ready. This is for the walima. Okay. And I don't like, I understand that you can go one shade lighter. Okay. But you can't go too light because it just does not look good. Okay. You start to look gray. So I did her base and she was so happy with it. She was like, I love it. This is perfect. Like, she said to me, I don't like going too light.
Okay.
The mother-in-law walked in and is like, oh, can you please go like really, really light? And I was like, this is light. This is what I'm like trying to explain to her that you can't go too light or she's going to look gray. And she's like, so I go like a shade lighter. And then she's like, comes back and she's like inspecting and she's like, no, this is too dark. This is too dark. And I'm like, that's not her skin tone. And the daughter-in-law, I felt like she was feeling very uncomfortable because I think she was happy with her foundation.
Yeah.
And then the mother-in-law was like, go lighter, go lighter, go lighter, go lighter. And I just feel like she didn't know what to say. And so I was like, I know how you're feeling because I'm getting your vibe. Your mother-in-law is very overbearing. And for some reason, she wants you to look really light, but that's not your skin tone. She shouldn't be forcing you to change who you are just to suit her own needs. It was just a really uncomfortable experience.
Oh my gosh.
And honestly, I hate when people do that. I've had the same experience, girl, where I went to a makeup artist before I became a makeup artist. Oh my God. It was so bad, Aruj. It was so bad.
Oh my
looked
gosh.
like a booth. Okay. Like
a booth knot.
Literally booth knot. Okay. Like I was like, oh my God. Oh my God. And then I am standing upstairs in her bathroom. Like I need bronzer. I need something. Like this is not my skin tone. Like I hate when people do that. Like they over white your face and you're standing there like, this is not even what I look like. And you know, when you look so over, like you're like, oh my God, this
Like
is so
tacky.
Yeah. Like, and then you got your hair done. Your makeup is all over the place. It was just not the look. It was not the look. So when people say stuff like that, or when you sometimes get influenced on like your walima or your wedding day by your mother-in-law, it's such an unfair thing because that's such a happy day for you.
I know.
And like, you don't even know how to say no. You don't even know how to stand up for yourself, especially when you're young.
Exactly.
What the hell do you do?
So I had someone message me privately. It was their walima day, okay?
Yeah.
They had no say in the jewelry. They had no say in the lehenga. They had no say in literally anything, okay? And mind you, the wedding was here and the walima was like somewhere else. I don't know, Montreal, Quebec, somewhere. Like they had to drive somewhere else for the walima because that's where she was moving for her wedding.
Yeah.
And she was like, she had no say in anything. She goes there and the in-laws, she trusted the in-laws to find a makeup artist, right? Because this is also like a few years ago when like makeup artists weren't so popping and like, whatever. So you kind of trusted other people's judgment. You're not from there, so you're going to trust that somebody else found someone.
Facts.
Okay. You get there and she's like, she's a bit darker tone and the mother-in-law was overbearing and told the makeup artist, no, lighter, lighter, lighter. So she just kept her mouth shut because she was like, this is literally the second day of my marriage.
Yeah.
Okay. I drove here with my in-laws. I haven't like ever really interacted with them outside of the few interactions we had.
Yeah.
So she's like, I'm sitting there and she's like, I can see that the makeup artist is just toping it on. Okay.
Hope is the word.
Top is like paintbrush taken up. Okay. And then she's like, and then I saw my walima outfit. Okay. So you can already tell the
Double whammy, man.
Yeah, because you're already sitting there being like, oh my God, I don't like anything. But then you put it on. Okay.
Yeah.
They do the dupatta setting, whatever. Your hairstyle is not how you want it. The makeup is not what you want. Your dupatta is like a tissue material. So it's not setting properly on your head. Yahan pe kuch lag raha hai, yahan pe pinne lag rahi hai.
Oh my God.
Okay. And then the set comes out and it's yellow gold.
Oh God.
Are y'all picturing this in your head right now? Because
I don't want to. I'm getting anxiety.
And then she came out. It was walima. And the mother-in-law is like, oh, I bought this and I did this and I did that. And, you know, back in the day, she was quiet. She was like, you know what? I'm just going to let her take credit. Yeah, you did do all this. You did all of this. Okay. And then, you know what her win was? Shortly after, when her wedding videos come out and her wedding pictures come out, all of the people in, I'm going to say Montreal because I can't remember the city, who saw her shadi outfit, look, everything was like, they went back to her mother-in-law, was like, aapne aise kyun nahi banwa ke diya isko?
That's what I'm talking about.
And she literally, she's like, I sat there and she's like, it was months of sadness because I saw my walima pictures and I was so unhappy. But she's like, when I heard that, it was worth it.
Yeah, man. Like, first of all, it's like, okay, a mother-in-law telling the girl who's getting married how to do her makeup is wild. Because like, I'm telling you, the girl getting married knows way better what's going to look good on her. So a mother-in-law throwing her opinion and it's like, please exit the premises.
Yeah.
You're not needed right now. Okay.
And literally, girl, her walima picture, she's like, I looked so gray in the face.
Okay, this is, you know, if you're not a depression comedies, after something like that happens, you become a depression
Bags. Because guys, like, these are the only pictures you have of those days.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You know what? I know some people are like, oh, you're so dramatic because why do you care about such superficial things? Listen, majority of people only freaking get married once. Okay. So like, let me live.
Facts.
Let me have my damn moment.
And you know, on the day of, like, brides and grooms, we don't have the capacity to hold on to everything or take care of everything. On the day of, we need other people to take care of it. Okay?
Yeah.
So all I can really focus on is the way I look. Okay, I'm not going to focus on the menu anymore. I'm not going to focus on like the centerpieces, the decor, whatever. It is what it is at this point. I can't do much. What I can do is focus on my look.
Yeah. And I want to feel good.
Yeah.
Let me feel good.
Yeah. So that when I walk in, jaws are dropping.
Yeah. Let me just feel good. Okay.
Let me walk
you
into
need
that
to add
song.
your 2 cents in.
Let the lights dim. Let my outfit glitter. Like, I don't know. I want the whole experience.
I want the experience.
You're telling me I'm even embarrassed to walk in now because you had to pick a tissue or a dupatta for my head?
Oh, guys, come on now. Do better.
The tissue material is the worst material out there.
A nice fall to it, you know, like it's supposed to have a fall to it, so it looks nice.
I don't need that
and
stiffness.
it gets pinned up, so like you're wearing a tissue dupatta, and it's like you're pinning it up, and there's like a chonch coming out from this end, and like one coming. Your hair is like this, like makes no sense. It doesn't even sit properly.
Facts. All right.
Lord. I don't know. You know, I'm really against in-laws picking the Valima outfit, reception outfits. Any outfits, I'm against it.
I hear that. I'm
against
it.
Unless
that
you yourself are like, oh my God, my in-laws have the best taste and I really want them to pick it.
But like, how do you even know that your in-laws have the best taste? This is the thing. Like, if you're going to meet with them a couple of times before you're getting married, how much are you going to meet them?
That's true.
5, 6, 10, 20 times?
But
you never know.
You can kind of gauge their taste by what they wear.
Yeah.
You can gauge it.
Yeah.
But even then, your taste is a lot of the times a little different.
Yeah.
You know? So if there is something that you like, okay, I'm okay with the collaboration. However, I would love to pick my own. Like, I would not want anyone to pick it for me.
I agree.
And honestly, I would be the person that's like, I don't even want you to pay for it. I'll pay for it for it myself if I can pick my own thing. That's what I would do.
That's what I would do.
Because, you know, they'll use that thing like, but we're paying for it. We're paying for it. And then I'm like, fine, then don't pay for it. I'll pay for it for myself.
Yeah. Or it's like, okay, we know you're going to pay for it. Can you just pay for something that I want to wear?
Yes. Can you ask me? I'm the one that's wearing it. I want to wear it again.
I think mother-in-laws really should just give the daughter-in-laws freedom to pick what they want to wear.
Yeah. Like, why do you have to be so stuck up about, I have to pick it. I have to pick it. What's the big deal?
Yeah, exactly.
What's going to happen if you say, hey, listen, daughter of mine, can you tell me what you like? I will get that made for you. How about that? Everybody's winning.
Facts. My mother-in-law said to me that I would purposely not clean the kitchen just to make her angry.
What do you even say to that?
Just like, yeah, I guess it's true.
You know, sometimes I think you get like so beaten down that you're just like, say whatever you want.
Seriously.
What do you want me to say? You want me to start a fight with you again and again and again?
Man, that's what makes me really sad, that when girls reach a point where you're like, oh, whatever, in one ear, out the other.
Yeah.
That's a sad point.
It's
in that
so
relationship.
sad because you're just like,
because imagine how much, like, men who are listening right now, imagine how much your wife has tolerated for her to get to that point. Imagine how much she had to hear for her to be like, in one ear, out the other. I guess it is what it is. I'm not going to say anything. How much am I going to fight?
There's actually a word for that. I can't remember what it is. When like you don't care about the happy and you don't care about the disassociation. Oh. You disassociate because like you've been let down so much that you're just not, you don't care if it's a good thing and you don't care if it's a bad thing. So you're just like, okay. But I feel like that kind of leads to like relationships ending because then you just don't care.
I just feel really bad because I feel like, you know, if your wives are feeling this way, like men really need to step up and tap in and see what has gotten them there. You don't want them to fall in that trap.
Yeah, you don't.
You don't want them to feel disassociated from all their emotions and their feelings.
Because I don't think that they can I don't think that they can be the best version of themselves in that way.
Exactly.
Okay, someone says that her mother-in-law said, "Tumhari zuban khench lungi," because I started speaking for myself.
तुम्हारी ज़ुबान खींच लूंगी?
Yeah, yo. I actually thought it said तुम्हारी ज़ुबान कैंची की तरह चलती है.
I mean, that's one too. That's one too.
But तुम्हारी ज़ुबान खींच लूंगी. I feel like a mother-in-law that says that is she toxic. Like that yells toxicity to me.
If she says that, you better be snipey with that response.
Yeah, I would. But you know what? Most girls are not snipey, so obviously it took something to get you to that point.
Facts.
Right? But they don't see that.
My parents have never said anything like that to me.
My parents have never said anything like that to me.
And like a mother-in-law is going to say something like that? Just be like, don't worry, हम दोनों एक दूसरे की ज़बान खींच लेते हैं
Oh my
क्योंकि आप
God.
बहुत बोलती हैं. Storm out of the room. गुस्से में. कर लो, खैर है. कह तो दिया है ना.
My mother-in-law said, I am shaitan. Shaitan is Satan. You the devil and reincarnated. Okay? So I was like, when my father-in-law was giving me tips to get
Oh, father-in-law.
pregnant.
Yo, the unks need to calm
The
down.
unks need to
Y'all don't need
chill.
to get involved. You know how
Don't get involved.
You know this is a funny thing. You know people like औरतों के काम. Like the uncles need to just sit back. Yo, this is औरतों के काम.
Why are you saying? Do you not feel uncomfortable saying that? Like,
Okay, I'm gonna
yeah.
double down on that because my father-in-law is sending me taweez and dam darood so that I can give birth to 9 white boys.
The flip. What is taweez?
पानी लेके ना दम
Oh.
करके पियो गोरे बच्चे होंगे and बेटे होने चाहिए बेटे.
You know, someone also said that they told their kids to drink more milk because that will make them more white.
Oh my gosh.
And I'm like, do you know how much milk desis drink? We'd all be white then.
Also, on what planet did you hear
Where
that
do
from?
people come up with these anecdotes?
Just
Who tells them this?
Just because, and then they're like, chocolate doodh nahi peena. What if I drink strawberry doodh?
That's wait, but this is where I get confused because a cow produces milk. So why is the cow not white? If we're really taking it full throttle, they're like, make it make sense. Make it make sense.
Sometimes I just want to look at some in-laws and be like, can you make this make sense?
Yeah, like you just want to be like, okay, so please sit in front of me. Let's talk about science first. So if I eat a carrot, will that make me orange? Like, flip? Does not make sense. Her mother-in-law or father-in-law said to her, the reason my son is in a bad mood is because you are not fulfilling his needs. And that was said in front of me and my sister and my mom.
Hands.
Y'all.
That's hands.
I would just be closing my mom's ears.
fulfilling
I would
your
be closing my
needs?
mom's ears. I don't even know what I would be doing. I would be like, are you
Astaghfirullah.
serious? Are you serious right now? Like, for God's sake.
I know, but like in front of your mom, you can't even talk back.
But then it's like, how do you know?
Baby cam.
How do you know, sir?
They are baby cams up in everybody business.
So this person said that her in-laws said to her, जो लड़कियां अपने शोहर का नाम लेती हैं, वो बदनज़ली खानदान से होती हैं, their daughters do the same. So basically in English, what this translates to is like the girls that say their husband's name are from bad families, like families that cultivate disrespect. And I'm out here like, what do you want me to call? Tum aap. Aap se idhar aa sakte hain?
Shohar ji.
Yeah, hell no.
Nah.
Ain't happening.
I'm like, get your butt here.
And so he can call my name, but I can't call his name. Okay.
Because I'm the
standard
one
much?
who's Batamise, but he can say whatever he wants.
He can be Batamise.
Just next time, be like, just call him babe then. Be like, you don't want me to say his name? My mother-in-law told me you need to go shower after doing it with my son.
The flip? Why are these unhinged people?
And what?
Why are you saying what you're
This
saying?
is crazy.
Okay, this one is, my mother-in-law addresses me as gungi or mute because I'm an introvert. I could see people saying that. That's so rude.
so mean.
That's so rude. That's so rude.
Oh my God.
That's
just
so
because you
rude.
don't want to go out and socialize. You're
Yeah.
gonna
And not
call
everyone
people
is a
names that
social
way?
person. Not everyone is a social person. Like, relax.
Yo, that one really triggered me.
That triggered me too.
Wow. We are so sorry.
Oh my God.
Just call her Gungi back and be like, because you don't understand other people's feelings. You're not empathetic.
Singing Chitta Kukkad on my dholki was offensive to them. So for those of you that don't know, Chitta Kukkad is like a
Best Dholki song ever.
Chitta Kukkad bane rehte kasri dupatte wali
Ye munda aashik tere te.
Yo, why is that a bad? Why is that a bad? What does that mean? Chitta Kukkad is like a white rooster.
Yeah.
Right?
And
Kasni dupatte wali, like, oh, a girl with a, what's a kasni? What is is that a color?
is it black?
I don't know. Munda ashik. Other guys like.
What's wrong with it? In love with you?
That's so weird.
Wait, but look, do you know the other lyrics? Sari khed lakira di station te akh pij gayi peena di. I don't know.
No. I'm not married. I'm just here for the tea. So are we? So
Bless. Did you subscribe to the channel?
Did you get everybody you know to subscribe?
Come on, spread the word.
Oh, look at this is so rude. Okay, so one person says that their in-laws said to her, "I hope your unborn child provides you as much hurt as you have provided me." Yo. Whoa.
I'm sorry. What?
Heavy on the bad dua. Heavy on the bad dua. I mean, does she realize that that's her grandchild?
Oh my gosh.
Or that's his grandchild? Why would you say such a thing? Like, oh my God. Like,
you know what? And then you sit there and you're like, oh my God, what kind of hurt did I cause this person?
Yeah.
It always affects us.
What if the bad dua actually hits?
Oh my God. You know, sometimes growing up when your parents would look at you and be like, just wait till you have kids.
Yeah.
It's different when your parents say it, and it's different because you went through a teenage phase with your parents.
I agree.
Rightfully so, they're gonna say something like that.
Someone says that to you as an adult. Oh my
because
God.
You're married to their son.
Oh my God,
Oh
man.
my goodness. It's not my responsibility to look after your kids, but both my husband and I need to work. I don't know what to do.
Oh my God. But you know, there was also people that said that my in-laws would come up to me and be like, you need to contribute more to the house. And then it's like, well,
but you don't want to watch my kids.
But then you're also complaining that I'm a Western woman that works.
But you want me to pay for your bills.
Right? Like, I don't know. Some of this is like, it's a very big double standard. And it's really sad that it's like that.
Oh my God, this one made me really sad. I got more grief over my sister's divorce than she did.
Wow. I bet they were probably like, oh, this runs in your family. And like, oh, in our family, there's nothing like this. But in your family, you guys are flawed because this happens. I don't know, man. It's sad.
None of them congratulated me on my first baby's birth because it was a daughter.
Oh my, you know, other people said that too.
A lot of people said that.
That is shameful. That's so shameful.
I can't.
No, those
It's
families
2024.
It's 2024, but you know, this type of behavior is very common.
It's literally like
Very
deeply rooted inside our society.
Yeah. So do you know, I don't know if you probably do know this, when people would have daughters, they would kill the daughters.
Yeah.
Right?
Or they bury them alive.
Yeah. Or they bury them alive. Sometimes, like, honestly, like in this day and age, when you grow up and you look at like how daughters love their parents, it's so sad because you're like, yo, that love, I'm not saying sons don't, but like a daughter's love is so different.
Exactly.
Like what a daughter does, no man will ever be able to do. And then like you look at the men that did that and you're like, bro, like you are here because of a woman and you're going and doing things like this. Are you okay? Like,
do you want me to stick my nose in this camera?
You wouldn't even be alive if it wasn't for the woman who backs you. Like, it's just so, it's stupid. It's stupid. I don't know. Like, I think if you are married into a family like that, I think that would be such a big red flag for me because I don't think I could do that.
Yeah.
I don't think I could be in a family where you would, and because you know what, let's say you have the daughter and they don't give you that respect, they're not going to respect your daughter. Even as she grows, like there's going to be this like underlying level of like, I don't like you. And I never want to ever put like, I would never want to put my daughter into a situation like that.
Exactly.
Where like she feels like she's not good enough because she's not a boy.
Honestly, girls are so precious.
Yeah, they are.
And they carry such an amazing role in anyone's home.
I agree.
And for you to judge and think that that is less than because it's not a boy, that to me is just, that kind of mentality cannot be changed.
Yeah.
You know how you're always like, you've said this so many times on the podcast that you can only change if you're willing to change.
Yeah.
People who think that way are not willing to change.
Yeah, I don't think
because it's so deeply rooted in who they are and what they believe that the last thing they're going to think is that having a girl is going to be okay.
And you know the other thing that makes me really sad? It's one thing for the guy to say it. For a mother-in-law to say that, that to me is like, you are so ignorant and you don't see what you're doing because
Exactly.
you are also a daughter. So you don't have enough respect for yourself for you to say that to your grandchild's mother, for you to say that about your son's child. Like it's something that they would have to figure out themselves because I would never want people like that in my life.
And if I bring it to the experience of the girl who shared this and the many people who shared this with us, okay? You know what's really crazy is you will never forget it.
Oh, I could.
You gave birth to a daughter and your in-laws did not congratulate you because it was a daughter. You're never going to forget that.
I would never forget
You
it.
hold on to that so tight. And that it is almost an unforgivable act.
Yeah, it is.
Okay? Because you went through so much, your body went through so much to give birth to this beautiful baby girl. Okay? Who is gonna love and take care of you so much.
Yeah.
She's gonna give you the love that your in-laws ain't gonna give you.
Yeah.
Okay? And for you to feel in that moment in your postpartum days that you weren't congratulated for that.
Yeah.
That's heartbreaking.
But I genuinely feel like, okay, for the people that have daughters, you guys will understand. When you have a daughter, you know that saying, daddy's girl, right? It's not because like girls are daddy's girls. I personally feel like the men that can harness that love from a girl, like as in a father figure that sees the girl and sees how much love that girls have in their hearts, are the men that do the best as fathers. When I think of myself growing up, right, I think women have these really soft hearts. We have so much love in those hearts for the people that are around us that men do not have. They don't possess that love. Okay. So what we bring to a home as even a daughter-in-law is something that a man will never be able to bring into a home. Why do you think that they say the heart of the home is the woman? Because we are the hearts of the home. And then you are going to say something so like just disgusting and horrendous like that about a woman just shows your lack of respect for women. I would never want to put my child or even myself in a situation where I know immediately that line to me signifies that you do not respect women, period. It's not even that you're having a girl. You just don't respect women, period. Because you want the man to like, oh, the lineage continues with the man. But honestly, like the girl is the heart of your home. Your daughter, she does end up being the heart of your home. I know that for a fact because I'm 3 sisters. You're 2 sisters.
Yep.
The way that like you fill a home as a girl is something that's so like, it's not comparable. There's a very big difference.
And you know how many times like you'll have gatherings and your mom will be like, I was waiting for my daughters to come.
Thank you.
How many times do they say that? We've all experienced it, right? And you want to know something else? So I used to hear this saying growing up, right? Where the men that are like the toughest, roughest men, they're the ones who are gifted daughters because they need that.
I've heard that.
To ease themselves in terms of who they are as an individual.
I've heard that
and
too.
They are the ones that then learn more sympathy, more empathy, more love towards their wife and their moms because they now have daughters. So now they get to open up a different type of love and a different type of relationship with a woman that they haven't experienced before.
Yeah.
Right? And so if your son has been gifted a daughter, it's a gift.
It's a gift.
Okay.
Man. It's
Cherish
a really big gift.
And as a mother-in-law, look at that and be like, you know what? He needed that.
Yeah.
He needed that daughter in his life.
Yeah.
And you should be, as a mom of 3 boys, I should be able to know that about my kids. That, you know, like, sometimes you just have boys that are super like rough and tough and very manly. And sometimes when they are gifted a daughter, look at them, look at their flaws. Everybody has flaws in this world. People, wake up. We are all flawed human beings.
Yeah.
Okay. Look at your sons and look at them and say, hey, you were gifted a girl. I hope that you can cherish this relationship. Look at your daughter-in-law. Thank her for bringing a human being into this world.
Yeah.
Congratulate the both of them and hope and pray and make dua that they are able to create a home where your son's flaws can also lessen because of the women that have now been introduced in his life.
Yeah, I agree
we all
with
think that
you.
way.
Yeah,
That's
I
beautiful.
agree with you. That is a really nice way of saying it.
Yeah.
Actually, I really like that. I don't know. I just think that like I mean, whatever you have, any child you have at the end of the day, like if you have a healthy child, it is one of the biggest blessings in the world. So for someone to take that away by a comment like that, it shows more about their character than it does about anything else. And that's really unfortunate and sad. There was a guy that sent this in. Okay. And he said, my in-laws said to me, you're like a son to us, but also you must know your place as a son-in-law. I don't even know what the hell that means, but I feel like that's not really something nice to say to a guy.
That's not.
It's not.
Also, what do you mean my role as a son-in-law?
What is your role as a son-in-law? Like you're just supposed to quietly sit there and say nothing?
Don't do that.
Let's talk about that though, because there are a lot of men that go through a lot of like emotional abuse in families as well from like the wife's side.
I also feel like, you know, when men get married, okay, let's say that they're the first to get married in a family. So you are the first son-in-law.
Yeah.
You as a man still have to understand like how this family works, right? And like if it's a family, you know how we talked about, let's say it's an only child.
Yeah.
Okay, so your wife has not had any siblings. Now you have gotten married to her. You need to, I'm not going to say learn your role, but I think you should set your role in the family. Like you should learn what you're comfortable with as a husband and what maybe how you want to do this decision-making process in this family, how you want to be consulted on certain things, what role you want to play, because you don't want it to be that you are now shunned out.
Yeah.
And that all you do is sit quietly at family gatherings while the three of them are making decisions for the home.
You know, that's a really good point that you bring up, because I think a lot of the times what happens with guys, and guys chime in, okay, is that you're married to someone and you're like, oh, I want to make sure that she's happy.
Yeah.
And then sometimes you are not only being influenced by the wife, but then the wife's mom will jump in too and be like, no, beta, istana karna chahiye. Tumne, like, why did you do this way? You should have done it this way. And then you're kind of like, okay, it's a double whammy, because like now I'm listening to my wife, but my mother-in-law is also chiming in. It works that way too, where like the guy's ego kind of comes down and gets crushed because he's not even able to take on that leadership role, which he probably wants to take, because the girl's mom be like overstepping her boundaries. Like I feel like moms from both sides need to take a step back.
I agree.
Like let them work their relationship out.
Yeah.
They're a couple. Let them sort it out.
Or it's like when you have kids, and as a dad, you're still learning the ropes. You're understanding how to be a dad, just like moms.
Yeah.
We know how to be moms. We've never done this before.
We've never done this. Yeah.
You also have not done this before. And now let's say that your mom is like really chiming in and not letting him do things.
Yeah.
Or is always calling up like the daughter and being like, listen, just bring your son over.
Yeah.
Just stay here with me.
Yeah.
You and your husband need the help.
Yeah.
But really in your mom's mind, maybe it's like, oh, he can't handle it.
Yeah.
How is he going to learn if you don't let him?
Yeah, that's true.
That's what true. It is. You have to let men learn to be dads.
Yeah. And I also think like in some situations, like men can be assertive and be like, no, this is what we're doing. Respectfully, this is the boundary that we're setting. But it should be like a collective thing that you come up with together with your partner. Like it shouldn't be like, no, you're not allowed to go to your mom's house at all if you need help, because sometimes our moms do help us in a way that like we can't ask our mother-in-laws for help like that. I just think that sometimes what it has to be is like, it's like a conversation that you both have together.
Right.
You both discuss what's needed, and then whatever he's going to do to help, he offers that. And then whatever you need from him, you tell him, and vice versa. And then you come up with some sort of game plan.
Okay, you know what's really hard for men? Okay, let's say let's say you got married, okay? And you have an older brother and a younger sister.
Yeah.
I'm just making up scenarios, okay?
Yeah.
You get married. Now, where does your husband fit in this relationship now? Because for him, he is now your caretaker and your provider.
Yeah.
Okay? But your whole life, you leaned on your older brother and your dad to make certain decisions for you.
Yeah.
Okay? Now he's feeling like maybe he has to fight for a seat at the table. Because you also don't know how to let go and give your husband responsibility for decision making. Because you're a daddy's girl and you've got an older brother.
And you got older brother.
You got like two dads in your life.
No, but I think at that point, it's up to your parents, your dad and your brother, to take a step back.
What if they don't?
Then you have to be a little bit more like strategic, right? Like you also don't want your husband to look like a laloo in front of your family.
Yes.
Right? I think if you show him the respect and you put him on that pedestal, then your family will follow suit. Because I think if you allow him to be disrespected, then you're going to feel like you can disrespect him too.
What would you do if, let's say you're on the phone with your husband and your dad calls? Are you hanging up with your husband to talk to your dad?
The reason I would hang up to talk to my dad is because it's like a respect thing for me.
Yeah.
But I would tell him like, hey, my dad's calling.
Yeah.
Let me call you right back. I wouldn't be like, sorry, I gotta go to, like, I would be like, hey, my dad's calling. Is it okay if I call you back? But if it was an urgent matter that I'm talking to him about and he's like, let me just finish what I'm saying to you, then I would 100% listen to what he was saying and be like, okay, finish what you're saying.
I like that. Good.
I don't think it should be like, I gotta drop my phone just because my dad's calling all the time. Like, I don't think it's like that for me. But I think with girls, it's just like a level of respect that you have for your fathers.
For me, it's 100% what you just said.
Yeah.
Like I would be like, oh my God, my dad's calling. Everything is dropped so that I can answer my dad's call.
Yeah.
But I think as an adult, I have to learn to change that a little bit.
I think it was also,
I think it's also because growing up, like my dad never called.
That's what I was going to say.
That's
what I was going to say. Yeah.
Like my dad never called me. So if he ever does call me, for me, it's immediately like, I need to put my hat on because there's an emergency.
Yeah. The same
That's
thing.
what it is. And literally when he calls me, it's for some calm.
Yeah.
Some urgent matter, something that needs to get done.
Something that needs to get done. Yeah.
get this done for me.
Yeah,
okay,
exactly.
It's not like he calls me to see how I'm doing, right?
Yeah, it's not like an heavy conversation.
It's not an heavy conversation.
You're so right about that. I was going to agree with you because like it doesn't, I don't know, other people's dads might be different, but like with my dad, when he was alive, I don't think I got many like random phone calls. It was either like, oh, calling to do this or calling to do that. So yeah, it would be something.
Hina beta,
Yeah.
I need you to do
Sometimes
this,
it's like,
this.
मैंने एक बात करनी, you're like, ah!
Many baat karni hai?
Even when my mom says that, it's like pasine are chutting, like, oh my God.
I'd be like, oh, I gotta sit down. I gotta sit down for a second.
As soon as they use that tone, like everybody knows that their mom is, you know, they got that tone at here and there.
It's a serious tone.
Come over and then they're like, "Idhar aao zara, maine tumhare saath ek baat karni hai." How do you say it in Punjabi?
एक गल करनी है मैंने तेरे नाल.
Gal karni hai tere naal. Oh Lord. And it's not like a happy face. It's like
No. It's a mer.
it's a mer face.
And
It's
then
a
you're
straight line emoji. Oh Lord. That's a scary combo.
That's a very scary combo.
then
But
they
guys,
drop-
guess what? You just double down and you reverse it back to them, okay?
मैंने भी आपके साथ एक बात करनी थी.
Dun dun dun. इस घर में तो तुम्हें मुफ्त का खाना मिलता है.
तो तो क्या अगर तुम उसका मिलता
Like मेरी अम्मी के घर भी मुझे मुफ्त का खाना मिलता है. बहुत शुक्रिया. Thank you for stating the facts.
You know, like this is what I don't get. You want us to be the proper daughter-in-law.
You also want me to live with you?
You
But
also-
you don't have a problem with me eating the food?
But you also don't work yourself.
But you
okay?
also don't want me to cook in the kitchen.
like make it make sense. Again, make it make sense. Okay.
Okay, so I have to live with you. Okay. I have to make my own food because I'm going to hear a comment if I don't. But you don't want me to touch your kitchen.
and you don't want me to work because you want me to be that like ghrelu bahu.
You
okay?
also don't want us to order out because then har waqt hum bahar khana khate hain.
The math ain't mathin'. The math ain't mathin'.
Lady.
It doesn't make sense. Nonsensical baatein.
Next time she says that, just be like, okay, don't worry. You sit down. Let me make you muft ka khana.
For real.
Let's see if she's
like,
going to give up her territory.
good heavens. You should be grateful that my son doesn't beat you. Honestly, there's no point of return from that.
Yo, if somebody said that to me, I'd be like, you should be grateful I ain't beat you. You should be grateful my gloves ain't coming off. Woman.
Or you could be like, or you should be like, okay, let him try. Let him try. Let him try.
Do you know I can kick his butt? You know I'm in like Taekwondo, Muay Thai.
Man, sometimes you need to say things like that. That's so unhinged.
Okay, I really do. Like, I can't get over a lot of you guys message us about this like actual physical abuse. I can't even get myself to read some of them because how are people saying this to you?
No.
Who is making this okay?
There was one comment that I read.
Okay.
Okay. And I'm not saying this verbatim, but I'll tell you the gist of what she said. She basically said that her husband abused her. Okay. He physically abused her. But when the mother-in-law found out, the mother-in-law would say to her, oh, well, look at so-and-so's wife. Her husband beats her to a pulp and she never says anything back. So you don't have it as bad as you think you have it. I swear someone sent that into us. And I would
so
be
we're
like,
comparing traumas now?
no, like for me, it's like, even if somebody hits you one time, one hit, you call that in. I don't
You
care.
do,
I
you
don't
do.
care. But then, you know, there was someone that once messaged us and said, if you ever call the police, immediately you're the bad guy.
know.
Immediately you're the bad guy.
I know.
But honestly, I would rather be that bad guy than live a life where someone is doing that to me. I can't handle that. You have to love yourself, respect yourself enough to know that I will never, ever, ever tolerate it. Period. End of discussion.
And
Doesn't even
that
happen
there are
once.
people out in the world who are not going to treat you that way.
There are.
There are.
Yes.
You should not be tolerating physical violence in a relationship.
That's so sad. I think sometimes what happens is that even if a girl is like, no, first, I think what happens is that sometimes it's not just the straight into physical abuse. Sometimes they break you down so much mentally that you genuinely believe that everything is your fault.
Yeah.
And then if you do get abused, then you're like, oh, I did something wrong, so I deserved it. You think that because that's how they portray it to you. Then you're like, oh, but he's right. I did do that wrong. He said food should have been ready at this time and then it wasn't. And so I guess he is right. But he didn't hit me that hard. Like, you know, people say this to themselves because they've been belittled so much that their entire self-esteem is gone.
Because you get in your own head.
Yeah.
And whatever they've been saying to you, you know how we always talk about affirmations?
Yeah.
And the more you say it, then you are going to start to believe it.
Exactly.
The more somebody is going to verbally abuse you and say things to you and make it seem like it's always your fault, the more you're going to believe it.
Yeah.
And then somebody's going to physically hit you for one thing. And then you're going to think, okay, this was not cool, but like, okay, I did deserve it. Oh, I did talk back. Oh, I did do this. Oh, food wasn't ready on time. Or, oh, I came late from work and I didn't tell him, or whatever. Okay. Not that it's justified.
No.
The hitting is never justified.
No,
okay.
Never.
But then we are also taught in our Desi community that this happens. Yeah.
And it happens. And sometimes you're also told that it's okay. It's not a big deal.
But this is what I'm trying to say. And then when those thoughts are in your head where you do end up blaming yourself, and then community is also telling you that it's okay, these things happen. Hamare mard aise karte hain.
Oh my God.
What are you to do? Because now you are actually trapped in this relationship.
It is a trap. Honestly, think about it. Like, I think like one of the worst things that you can do to someone is like gaslight them.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's not like you slap someone or punch them. Sometimes it could be like you shove somebody. And then when they call you out, you're like, I didn't push you. I didn't do that. Like, I just walked past you and nudged you by accident. And then you're sitting there like, wait, am I overthinking it? Is this real? Like, hold on a second. Maybe I'm thinking like he would never. And sometimes what they'll do is they'll do something like that. And immediately it's like, I'm so sorry. Like that will never happen again. Like, I'm so sorry. I didn't even think, like they like sweet talk you back into it. And because you're married to them, you're like, I'm in this. Marriage is forever. Divorce doesn't happen in my family. I gotta stick it through. I gotta be strong. I can fix him. You see these like mental mathematics that you're playing with yourself, like the mental gymnastics in your head, trying to prove to yourself that no, it's okay. It's okay. It's only once. And then they repeat it later on. But like you consistently are convincing yourself that, oh, this is okay. This is okay. This is okay. And then you go, let's say like this person that sent this in went to their mother-in-law, probably to be like, I can get help from her. And the mother-in-law says something like, you're overreacting because that person gets beat more, and says nothing.
I think that for you is like this. That should be your sign to know that this behavior is never going to stop. Because if the mom is saying that, that means that this has been okay in this entire family for a number of years. For him to have that learned behavior, where do you think he learned it from? Someone somewhere in that family. Then somebody gave him the green light to let him know that this behavior is okay.
Yeah. And probably the mother, because she's obviously okay with it.
And then now you're going to be out here comparing traumas that, oh, because I'm not bleeding on the ground, black eye everywhere, that this is okay just because he pushed me, smacked me around a little bit. This is okay. This is not okay.
It's not okay. And I also think that like in those situations, sometimes even when you go to your own parents, they're even more worried about you breaking a relationship than they are about your well-being. So I actually think that this is my personal advice. I would say never, ever, 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 ever. I don't care what the circumstances. Listen, it's very hard, especially if you're financially supported by somebody and you're not working and you have children. However, I will always say never, ever let anyone put their hands on you at all. There is a line you don't cross. That's the line. You don't allow it. Even one time, you do not allow it. And if that happens, you get up and you leave. And I don't care if people think I'm giving the wrong advice. I'm giving the advice because it's healthier for you in the long run. You might have to go through a hard time, but at least you will not be beaten black and blue. That's also hard. Staying is also hard. Okay? So pick your hard. And if you have kids, immediately you should leave, because you don't want your kids to think that this is what a healthy relationship looks like. Because you know what's going to happen? Your kids are going to grow up. If by chance there's a chance for them, either they will say, I'll never be like that person. Or majority of the time they'll think, oh, this is what love is, where men can put their hands on women. And sometimes it's even the other way around, where a woman can put her hand on the man. And when I look for a guy, when I look for somebody, I'm going to look for someone that does the same thing. So please don't do this. Or I'm going to be the same person that does that to somebody.
Well, this is how the cycle of violence continues, right?
Yeah.
She will do as she's told.
No, I won't. Not me.
Why does she have so many pimples on her face? Drink more water.
Oh my God, guys, who?
I'm just
hormonal. The stress that you're giving me.
All these.
It's the stress you're giving me that's causing the PMS.
This is my skin reacting to you.
Yeah. Even my body doesn't like you.
They didn't search for a good face when looking for my rishta. Just someone that was salika. But I guess I disappointed.
What does salika mean?
Like, I think somebody who's just like very like has good manners and good taur tarike. Wow, they said that to you?
Shameful. Wow. Shameful.
I need to stay thin or my husband will lose interest and look elsewhere.
Is the husband staying thin? Are you hitting the gym, brother? Okay, are you eating 10 chapatis at night? Like, what's good? You know, this is what bothers me about that, because it's like the men be putting on like 20,000 pounds, okay? But the woman has got to stay in shape all the time. Like, brother, hit the gym. Do something with your tummy too then.
Your tummy tum-tums.
Yeah, the tummy tum-tums.
I wanted to read a DM. Hina, we got one. This is actually from one of our male followers. So shout outs to you. Thank you for reaching out to us. Subscribe to the channel. Thank you very much.
It's about in-laws?
It's about when we were talking about when a husband and wife can become roommates.
Okay, let's talk about it. Yeah.
I have basically felt this way from the beginning of my marriage. We got pregnant a few months into the marriage, and it's been about the kids ever since. 8+ years of being together, and I feel extremely lonely. As a man, I keep everything inside and don't talk to anyone about it because I feel like nobody will care. I'm constantly angry, and even when I could smile, I don't, because I don't want her to think that everything is okay. That really broke my heart.
So sad. You know, we always talk about it from like the perspective of a girl, but I feel like it's so sad because men are not even allowed to express their emotions in our culture. Like, it's like they have to put on this like really tough front all the time. And behind that tough front, you don't even know what's going on. And it's like sucky because when I was talking about like repressing emotions, how we like how women are told like don't get angry, don't get too sad. It's the same for men.
It's the same.
Yeah. So then when men get like autoimmune diseases and all this stuff, it's a result of them also being told that we don't show emotion with men. We're supposed to be tough. But like, I don't know, in that situation, it's kind of, it is sad. I understand why he's saying, yeah, I don't smile. Cause like if he does and he's like happy go lucky, then the girl's also gonna be like, everything is fine.
Yeah. You know what's really tough is when you have kids so early on in your marriage.
That's it.
That's like you are a couple of months in and then you get pregnant and like obviously you love your kids. Everybody loves our kids. Like we all know that. But the thing is you never got to spend time as a couple.
Yeah.
And it did become all about your kids. You're 8 years into your marriage now and it is going to be all about them.
It is.
And every single phase of your kids, something new.
Yeah, and you don't get to make time for each other, and so you feel lonely. I think one of the biggest issues is that the mother is so invested with the children that she does. We are guilty of this. She does forget about her husband and I guess just maintaining that relationship as husband and wife. You know, a lot of us were like, oh, like we live for our children. Our like having my kids was one of the happiest days of my life, right? And that's fine and dandy, but it's just like, is that everything? I don't think so. I'm not scared to say it. Like, yeah, it was great when I had my kids. Lovely. But like, I think there's other things that should be making you happy. Like you should be also, I think you have to make a conscious effort to make time for your husband because we have a bond with our children that the husbands are not going to have with them. It's just not going to be that way. They also have a bond, but it's different. But I think husbands will feel left out. They don't know how to come back into that circle because that circle is you and your kids now. Yeah. And he's kind of watching from the outside. And sometimes when he comes in, you're also like, oh, don't do this. Don't. No, he likes this, like that. You know how we do that? Yeah. Yeah. It's rough, man.
Or it's like you finally leave the house and you're like, your husband's bathing the kids and then you're like up on him in his phone. Like, did you wash them behind their ears? Did you get in between the toes? Did you clean out their nose? Did you suction their nose or did you just clean it out? Is the humidifier filled? Did you fill the humidifier?
And then you know what we also do? When like the husband will like scold the kid and you're like, stop talking to him like that. Meanwhile, you're yelling at them like a flipping banshee, like, don't do that. Yeah. And he if he tells you like calm down, you're like, I know how to parent my kids. You don't.
You know, guys, like, we are actually the problem.
Yeah, we are. I'm not gonna lie. Like we have to hold ourselves accountable. Let's be real.
You know what makes me sad is like if you are actually one of the first people in your friends group to have kids, then like the husband can feel truly lonely because what if he like doesn't have that connection with his friends anymore? because you're like one of the first ones to have kids. So like obviously your whole life has changed and it's a lot about the kids. And now it's like you don't have a friendship anymore to fill that cup.
Yeah.
Your wife is so invested in the kids and now you don't have that anymore. Then you're left by yourself. Of course you're going to feel lonely.
Yeah. You feel lonely. And then I think it's also like, even if you say to your wife, like, oh, I'm going to go out with my friends, and the wife is at home and it's that postpartum phase, and the wife is going to be like, what do you mean?
Yeah.
I'm stuck at home with the kids. And you know, like that's what we do, honestly.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's warranted, but sometimes it's not. And I think a lot of that also stems from this feeling that like you need that person always there. But I think where the relationship would thrive is when you have your own circle and he also gets to do his own thing, and then you can still come together. You know, there was this like, oh, you know what it was? It was the CEO of Netflix. Okay. And what he said is that, again, I'm not, this is not verbatim, but what he said is every single week on Tuesdays after 5 p.m., I dedicate that time to my wife.
Oh,
that's it. Okay. And he said, no matter what happens, I don't care if it's like chaos is building. Like, I don't care if it is a complete deadline. I don't care if like the building is on fire. You can walk me to my car as I'm leaving after 5 p.m. and tell me about it. But I will never flake on my wife on Tuesday night. That is my time with my wife. Okay. And so he's like, a lot of people will say to me, oh, you know, this is probably like such a huge pinnacle of success in your career. And this is probably what you're so happy about. And he's like, I'm happy about that, but I'm more happy that I'm one of those people that has not let my relationship go astray. And I'm not on my 5th marriage because I've devoted so much time to my business. And I actually took the time out to like devote to my wife and my children on that day so that they also feel fulfilled.
Yeah.
And I think the same goes for women. We're like, yes, we get it. We have kids. We want to give them time, but you want to know something? You taking some time out for your husband is not going to kill you, and it's not going to kill your kids either. So
actually,
do it.
You'll probably come back feeling so much better of your relationship.
Yeah. So in this situation, what's the advice that you would give to him?
I don't know. I just feel like maybe he's already tried to do stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like he's probably already tried to set up date nights
Or talk to her.
And like, what if it's like she's actually so invested, Hina, that she can't let go?
And some parents are. Some parents are.
And then I feel like, okay, fine. If you can't let go, and then you don't want to dedicate to date night, or it's like you go on date night and then you're only talking about your kids. Ugh. And the husband is like, yaar, kabhi mujhe bhi attention de diya karo. Okay. Yeah. Then I feel like then you should, as a wife, step back and let him have some boys' nights. Because I'm telling you, he has to fill his cup somewhere, man. The loneliness can get very lonely and it will creep up. And then he doesn't like, he's literally saying in the message that he doesn't want to smile.
Yeah. That's really sad.
You know, that's like a tough point. So you as his wife, you need to check yourself and then check in on him and see what is going on that he's getting to this point where he doesn't want to smile in this home.
Yeah. I agree with you. I think like sometimes men, I think they reach breaking points too.
They will.
Right?
Everybody will. We're human beings. We've said this multiple times. Like you are going to reach a point where you are going to disassociate.
Yeah. Yeah.
When your husband disassociates,
that's a big red flag.
And it's scary because it sometimes it's so easy for men to disassociate, but it's so much harder for them to come back from it. And then what are you going to do?
I just feel sad because for him to even express it takes a lot of courage to even say it, because men don't know how to say these things. And I'm sure there's a lot of men out there that feel very similar. And I think sometimes like maybe with guys, it's like they try to start a conversation, right? Let's say I tell you, I'm like, you know what, Uruje, like you've been spending too much time and like, I really want to spend time with you, right? He's also not going to be like how we talk, where it's like, but I miss you so much. Like he's not going to say that stuff. He's going to be like, listen, like we need to prioritize our relationship. And he's going to be very logical in whichever way, right? And then she comes in with how dare you say that to me? I've devoted everything to my children. Like we do that. I say this as a girl. We do that. Okay. And then he's like, was that conversation worth it for me?
That's true.
Because now she's making me feel guilty again for even having the conversation. So I understand where you are just like, I don't know what to do. Where do I go from here? I think a really great thing to do is like, if you've kind of gone that route and you've tried those things and it's not working, I feel like you need to talk to a professional. Like
I was going to say, you could try couples therapy.
Yeah. I feel like what the good thing about it is like you go in there and then it's a very like neutral point of view, right? So they'll listen to you and they'll listen to her. And it's believe me when I say it's not like the siding is with the girl. It's not like that. It's a very neutral perspective. And I feel like the girl is more, accepting of her flaws at times because a neutral party is telling her, and it's not her husband, who she feels is always roke-toking her.
Is always nagging her.
Yeah. So I think that's important. And I think as women, we also need to realize that like maybe we have to be a little bit more understanding of the fact that men have a hard time expressing themselves. And sometimes you have to have conversations with them about, how are you doing? Like, what's going on in your world?
You know how we overthink everything?
Yeah.
But this and this, but this and this. We do that all the time. I don't know why, but we have this thing where when it comes to our husbands, we just tend to like ignore a lot of it. And instead of overthinking like, oh, he said this, maybe he meant it this way, maybe I should talk to him about it. Sometimes when you're so deep in like the trenches of motherhood, it's so hard for you to get out of it and look at your husband as a human being, being like, oh, like he said this, like maybe I should have a conversation with him about it. Maybe we should take some time out. Maybe we should get a babysitter, and I should stop overbearing that conversation and having to do with our kids. Or maybe if I am out, I'm not going to message him and be like, did you clean behind my kids' ears? You know what I mean? Like we also have to self-reflect so much as moms and as wives, because if you cannot, you're going to care for the relationship of you and your child no matter what. Right? But you also have to nurture that relationship between you and your husband. That is also a sacred and precious relationship. And you don't want to let that go, because eventually your children are going to grow older. They're going to get independent. They're going to do things their own way. What are you going to be left with?
Yeah,
because if you didn't, but if you didn't nurture that relationship,
100%.
It's not going to be in each 100%. Other scenario. Yeah. It's going to be you on your own and him on his own.
And then you're gonna be like, I don't know what to share with you at this point.
And you're going to look at the person and not recognize this person who's sitting across from you anymore, because you never took the time to build the relationship as a couple when you were going through hardships in your life.
Yeah.
When you were going through that rough phase of children.
That's so true.
Because all you did was dedicate it to only your kids. And you never let him take responsibility of being a dad.
Yeah. I think it's also very sad that like, I know women go through a lot with like having children, birthing, postpartum, things that maybe men won't understand. But I think something that society doesn't understand is that men are also going through a huge change. Because if you think about it now, this man has to take on the responsibility of a child. And the truth is like, the burden falls on the man way heavier than it falls on the woman when it comes to like financially taking care of the child, right? And I know there's a lot of working moms, but like, you know what I'm saying, right? To be the protector, to be the provider, but no one ever bothers to ask them like, bro, how are you doing now that you're a dad? Are you okay? Are you okay having to deal with your wife's postpartum stuff?
Because dad anxieties are real. You know how like mom anxieties were like, oh my God, did my son eat his lunch today? Oh my God, did he, is he doing okay? Is he being bullied? Da da da. Yo, dad anxieties are like, is my son going to be able to walk across the street without like a car running him over? They take the extreme anxieties because they're literally worried about your actual life and death experience on this planet. You know, they're worried about the livelihood. They're worried about the bills, the kind of like extracurriculars that they want to put you in.
Extracurriculars, for God's sake.
They want to teach you like life skills, street skills.
It falls on them.
It falls on them. And you know what? Even if it's unspoken, they're going to take it on them anyways. Because as men in our societies, men were taught to be men, right? You have to bring in the money. You have to bring in this. You have to teach your kids how to be independent in a Western world, you know? And like, we'll do all the other things, but like men take on the rest of it.
Like, I think we are the ones that bring the emotion into the religion, like into our children. Like we're teaching them like, please and thank you. Like say please and thank you.
But your husband is going to be out there teaching them like, yo, if a bully is bullying you, this is what you're going to do.
Exactly.
This is how you're going to handle it.
Exactly.
We're not going to talk to the principal. You're going to deal with it by yourself. I was listening to a podcast, right? And this guy was talking about how his bike was stolen, right?
Yeah.
And he's like, oh my God, my mom was like driving me around the whole neighborhood asking like, oh my God, I got to find out where the address is of this bully who took your bike. And he's like, I was so embarrassed. I was so embarrassed. I was like, Mom, stop embarrassing me. The bike is gone. The bike is gone. I don't want it anymore. And he's like, we came home, right? He's like, I put my head down. I went upstairs. I went into my bedroom. And he's like, I came back down. The bike's at the front door. And he's like, I went out and the bike was there. And he's like, I see my stepdad sitting at the table. Okay. And he's like, I just knew that my dad handled it. This is the difference between mom anxiety and dad anxiety.
That's the difference.
Because mom is going to be like, hi, kisne tumhe kiya hai? It's the hi, mom.
Hi.
But it's the dads that get things done because that bike was there at the front.
Yeah.
Dad handled it. Probably went to the bully and went to the bully's dad and was like, yo, are we going to take this outside?
Ain't that the truth?
Get me that bike back right now.
And you know, the mom is sitting there like, how is this gonna traumatically affect my child in the next few months? I have to worry. Oh my God, I need to have many conversations with him. Johnny, come sit over here and let me talk to you for a second.
Let's
Are you
journal.
okay? Yes. Let's journal.
Let's journal together.
Okay, and then the next day it's like, so I know you went through something really difficult today. Do you feel like talking about it? And he's like, no. And you're like, okay, we won't talk about it
Let's
today.
document this together.
Yeah. And then
Whereas the dad's
like,
get your butt up right now.
He's going to that kid and be like, bro, return that bike right now, or I'm gonna put this bike over your head. Like, for real.
If you ever come near my son again.
Ever come near him. That's a thing, you know, but you need the yin and the yang.
Facts.
You need the yin and the yang, okay? And this is that was the most realist.
That was the realest story. Guys, any man who is listening right now is like, woo, go Uruje. Thank you very
I'm
much.
not gonna lie.
For validating my feelings. I got y'all.
Spot on.
Spot on.
Honestly. I just think we need to be balanced. We need to acknowledge that what the men do, the women can't always do.
Facts.
What the women do, the men can't always do. But the men are also going through things. It's just not talked about as much.
Facts.
And honestly, we need to give them a little bit of space to like let them be who they are too, because you also do not want those nasty, toxic, masculine men. Okay, the ones that we all don't like. We don't want those. We don't want to raise sons like that.
Yeah.
So I think we have to make sure that we give space to those men, and like the dads that are showing up, man, give them credit. Give them credit.
Check in with them.
Check in with them. Make time for each other. Man, we're dropping all these gems. Like, guys, you know, like our life is not perfect. Just saying. We're dropping gems. It's easy to do that. And then we're gonna.
Meanwhile, it's like, when's the last time I had a date night?
And then we're gonna go back home to the chaos that is our lives. So when we say this, we're also saying it to ourselves.
Meanwhile, we're like low-key nagging our husbands like, yo, did you it's trash day tomorrow. Remember to take out the bins? And your husband's like, bro, we've been married for a decade. I know that every Thursday is trash day. This is the way it is.
On that final note, went on for a while, but it was so worth it. This is the episode.
If you've been here with us from the beginning, we appreciate you.
We really appreciate you. Really appreciate you. Make sure you guys are following, subscribing, liking. As you know, we are going to be launching on Patreon very soon. Get ready. Buckle up. It's going to be a lot of fun. And we will see you guys next time.
Bye. Okay, mom.